I know that each one of you has his own Excel routines and his own way of working with Excel, but if you follow this lesson, I'm going to show you a few tips that will improve your productivity and will make your analysis look better. So let's start. The first one is about merging cells when you don't need to. So all of us, we are culprit of doing this. You know, when you have a report, for example, here I have Japan, Spain, and France. I have merged the cells. Why? Because I want Japan, Spain, and France to be in the middle, and it looks nice. The problem is, if I come here and I want to do a sum. So if I start selecting my data, I press shift and then with the arrow down, I start going down. As soon as I hit Spain, my range has a problem. And if I continue down, I have an issue. Of course, I can come and I can put D here and fix it, but it's cumbersome. So what can we do to fix this problem? Well, basically, we're going to unmerge this, and unmerge this. And what we're going to do is select this one, click on this arrow, we go to alignment, and then under alignment there is a nice option that people don't use often, which is called center across selection. We say OK. You can see that now it's not merged, but I have the same effect. So if I select my second one, I can do the same, and I can do the same for the third one. Now, if I want to do the same formula, it will become way easier for me. So as you can see, we get our sum. Second one, if you have some data, make use of Excel tables. This will save you a lot of time for your graphs, for your pivots, and for your formulas. What do I mean by this? If we have another data point H with 400, this does not update, this does not update, and this does not update. So why? Because we haven't converted this to an Excel table. So let me do this. I will do Control T, and then I say, okay, my data has header, and now I have an Excel table. The other way to do this is to go to Insert, and then you have this table here. You can insert a data table. So now if I put H and I put 400, you can see that I have H here. Here, when I refresh my pivot, I have H coming here. And then here, if I put H, I can search for it. And previously, I could not do this. The third one is about hiding rows. So assume that here I have a table. I put H100, and then I put E200. And then I want to sum the data. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to sum it, and I have 535. Is it correct? It's not. Why? Because if you do this and you unhide, you can see that I have some other data points. Somebody has inserted some data here, and then they have made a pivot table from these data points. So what is the best option for this is basically to do this. You select the data that you want, you go to data, and then you have outline, and then you press on group. Now what happens is that you have a plus sign here, so you can see the data that you have hidden, and you have the same effect. So when I come here, I know that I have something, and I can do it for any range that I want. Next one, justify. So a lot of us, what we have been doing is, let's say here I need to put some text, so I'll go to video, I'll take the rest, and I'll do Control X, I go here, I paste it, and so on. And this is very cumbersome because if I want to add something, then I have to do this again. What is the solution? We do Control Z to go back. We select this, we select the range that we think it will fit in, and then we go to Home. Then you have here under this one, you have Justify. It will fix your text this way. Tip number 5, you have a model here. Do not hard code any data. So for example, here I changed this to 10% in my model. I can see that 212 did not change. Why? Because somebody hard coded 6% here. They were maybe trying, etc. So in order to check this, you can go to formula, and then you have trace dependent. If you see here, it doesn't trace to this one, and then you will know that you have a problem. You can also do this here, and you can see where it's going, and it doesn't go to this cell. So I can check it for several of those assumptions to see if somebody has played with my model. Next, links. So here, for example, I have formulas that are linking to another sheet called hydro, which is here. And let's assume that I want to get this into somewhere else. So here, if I go, I have the same kind of structure and I have hydro. And I want to bring this sheet there. So I can do here, move or copy. I'm going to say create a copy, and I'm going to put it in the V1. And I say, okay, if you see here, I have links, unwanted links. So if I go and then close this Excel sheet, and then I change something here in hydros, it will not update because it's taking from another previous Excel sheet. So how can I fix this? I can select this, I can go to data, I have here edit links. In edit links, I can do change source. So I can see my link, my source, I can change it, and I can select the right file. Now I select the right file, and it's taking everything from this file. Last tip, structuring your data. So what happens in real life? You start getting a data set, then you start working on it, you start adding a graph, a model, something, and then it becomes like this. So here, for example, I have some scenarios, here I have some other data points, here some other data points, and some graph here, some assumption, and it gets crowded. Have the hygiene factor of having all your data into one sheet, all your assumptions into one sheet, your model, pivots, etc. into one sheet, and then your reporting into another sheet. So then if something changes, you can go and make the change in the right place. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. I have a lot of lessons related to those tips. I'm going to put the links into the description. So if you have other tips on top of the ones I told you about that are useful to share with the community, please write it in the comment section.